So this offseason, the Cardinals have a lot of difficult decisions to make, and two of those are going to be coming at the running back position. And that's because both Chase Edmonds and James Conner are free agents, and we have to figure out if that's a position we want to invest a ton of money into. And what's a little scary about paying running backs is history goes to show as soon as you do, your team could get pretty handicapped. And not only that, but running backs have a really short lifespan in the NFL, and it's also a position where injuries happen the most. As a Cardinals fan, we all saw James Conner and Chase Edmonds both get hurt a pretty significant amount of times, so paying them a ton of money is a little concerning, I'm not gonna lie. But truth be told, they both deserve to get paid, but if I were the Cardinals, would I be willing to throw that bag at them? Well, today we're gonna discuss that. And first, we're gonna start with James Conner because in my opinion, he had the better season of the two. So when you look at James Conner's stats, he finished the year with 752 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns, which was second in the league, by the way. He also had 37 receptions for 375 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. The guy was doing it all this season for us, and the crazy part about it is we signed him for dirt cheap. His contract last year was a 1-year, $1.75 million deal. That's wild considering he made the Pro Bowl as well. Like when we talk about absolute steals when it comes to contracts, this is up there. James Conner was amazing all season long and he deserves to get a bag. But here's my only concern with paying him. So although James Conner finished the year with 18 total touchdowns, he only averaged 3.7 yards a carry. Now I know a bunch of you guys are probably going to disagree with me, but I just don't feel like having James Conner by himself is the best option for the Cardinals. And let me explain that real quick because some of you guys might be confused, but to do that, we have to go ahead and look at what Chase Edmonds did this year. And going over to Chase Edmonds, he finished the year with 592 rushing yards with 2 rushing touchdowns, while also finishing the year with 43 receptions and 311 yards. The only problem with Chase is he was injured a lot, and you can tell that by him only having 116 rushing attempts. But here's why I think we need to have both of them back. Because if you look at Chase Edmonds' stats, he finished the year averaging 5.1 yards a carry to James Conner's 3.7. They both played completely different roles, but at the same time, they complement each other perfectly. So I just don't feel like splitting them up is in the Cardinals' best interest. The question is, how much are we really willing to spend on 2 running backs? Well, if I were Steve Keim, here's what I would do. So if we go ahead and take a look at some of the top paid running backs in the league, obviously you're going to have players like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, and the list goes on and on. Obviously, James Conner and Chase Edmonds aren't looking to be the top paid backs in the league, so where do they fit in this? Well, first, let's talk about James Conner. So looking at this list, I'd look for players to base his contract off of. And some players that stand out to me are Austin Eckler and Chris Carson. I'd say he falls somewhere in between those two people. And as you guys can see, Austin Eckler is making $6.1 million a year, while Chris Carson's making 5.2. And if I were the Cardinals, here's the kind of contract I would offer him. So I would say somewhere between a 2 to 3 year deal is fair, with around a base salary of $5.5 million. So if we can sign him to like a 2-year, like $11 million contract, I would take that as an absolute W, but that's only step 1 in this whole process, because we also want to lock up Chase too. So where does he fall in this whole thing? I would say his value is just a little lower than Conner's, and if I were the Cardinals, I would want to lock him up to a 2 to 3 year deal as well. I would have no problem paying him a contract that's worth like 2 years, 9 to 10 million, making around 5 million annually. Now, I don't know if this is the kind of contracts they'd even accept, but if I was the GM, that's the kind of contracts I'd offer him. Maybe I'm undervaluing them, or maybe I'm overvaluing them. I honestly have no idea. That's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comment section below how much you think they deserve to get paid, and let me know what you think of my predicted contracts. My hope is that the Cardinals are able to find a way to retain both of them, because as a tandem, they were scary. They just have to find a way to stay healthy, and this team has the potential to be a serious threat. But with that being said, that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post NFL and Arizona Cardinals related content, so if you're a fan of either of those or both of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.